My cheating wife announced she was 5 weeks pregnant after I returned from a 2-month work trip. 15 years ago, I was 25, wrapping up a contract, and my girlfriend of 3 years, Natalie, started acting strangely. After returning from a 2-month assignment, I was ready to end things with her. But then, she dropped a bombshell. She was pregnant. When I asked how far along she was, she said 5 weeks. The math didn't add up, so I decided to break up with her. Natalie refused to accept the breakup and insisted the baby was mine. I laid down 2 conditions: a paternity test, and if the child was mine, discussions about financial support and custody with lawyers. She refused both and spread rumors that I was a deadbeat dad. Despite my explanation that I was away when she conceived, some friends pressured me to support her for the sake of decency. I consulted a lawyer who warned that any support could be seen as accepting responsibility. I relayed this to my friends, and most backed off, except one who believed charity couldn't be used against me legally. I told him he could house her if he felt that way, and he dropped the issue. When the child was born, I didn't jump to conclusions based on looks. Babies often look similar at birth. Natalie sent pictures with messages like, "Emma wants to know where Daddy is," but still refused a paternity test. Her persistence led me to file a restraining order, RO. In my state, a permanent RO lasts only 2 years unless linked to a violent crime. So, for the past 14 years, I've been renewing the RO every 2 years because Natalie reappears with Emma as soon as it expires. Eventually, I found happiness, got married, and now have a 9-year-old son, Henry. My wife, Kim, knows all about Natalie and Emma. Each time the cycle restarts, I repeat my conditions: paternity test first, then custody and financial support if proven. Natalie always refuses, calling it insulting. Recently, Emma approached Henry at a school event, claiming to be his big sister. Henry, aware of stranger danger, ran to a teacher. I had to explain the situation to the teachers and parents, even referring to Emma as my "notter," a term that didn't sit well with one mother. She felt it mocked the situation. But for me, it's a way to cope with this recurring nightmare. As the years went by, the cycle with Natalie and Emma continued. Each time the restraining order expired, Natalie would reappear, bringing Emma along and insisting that I was her father. Despite the frustration, I remained firm on my conditions: a paternity test first, then discussions about custody and support if proven. One day, when Henry was about 11, he came home from school looking troubled. He handed me a note from Emma. It read, "Dear Henry, I know this is confusing, but I really believe we're siblings. I just want to get to know you. Love, Emma." Henry looked up at me with wide eyes, seeking answers. I sat him down and explained the situation as best as I could, emphasizing that while Emma might believe she's his sister, the truth could only be confirmed through a paternity test, which Natalie had always refused. Henry, being the curious and empathetic child he was, asked, "Dad, why won't she take the test? Doesn't she want to know the truth too?" I sighed. "I wish I knew, buddy. Sometimes people are afraid of the truth because it might not be what they want to hear." As Henry grew older, he became more aware of the complexities of the situation. He even suggested that we reach out to Emma directly, bypassing Natalie, to offer her the chance to take the test herself. It was a bold idea, and one that showed just how mature Henry was becoming. We decided to write a letter to Emma, explaining our side of the story and offering to arrange a paternity test. We made it clear that this was about finding the truth and potentially building a relationship if the test proved she was indeed my daughter. Weeks passed without a response, and just as we were starting to lose hope, a letter arrived. It was from Emma. She agreed to take the test, expressing her own desire to know the truth once and for all. The day of the test was filled with tension and anticipation. Emma, now a teenager, arrived with a mix of nervousness and determination. The test was conducted, and we were told it would take a few days to get the results. Those days felt like an eternity. When the results finally came in, we gathered as a family to open the envelope. The test confirmed what I had suspected all along. Emma was not my biological daughter. Emma was devastated, and so was I. Despite the relief of finally having the truth, it was heartbreaking to see her pain. I reached out to her, offering my support and assuring her that she was still welcome in our lives if she wanted to be. Emma decided to take some time to process everything. She eventually reached out, expressing her gratitude for our honesty and support. While she chose to distance herself from Natalie, she remained in touch with us, building a new kind of relationship based on truth and mutual respect. As for Natalie, she continued to struggle with accepting the reality. But with the paternity test results, I was finally able to put an end to the cycle of harassment and focus on my family. Life moved on, and while the past left its scars, it also taught us the importance of truth, resilience, and the power of family, whether bound by blood or by choice. With the paternity test results confirming that Emma was not my biological daughter, a new chapter began for all of us. Emma, though initially heartbroken, found solace in the truth and began to carve out her own path. She decided to focus on her studies and hobbies, and we stayed in touch, offering support whenever she needed it. Natalie, on the other hand, struggled to accept the reality. She continued to reach out sporadically, but without the leverage of claiming Emma was my daughter. Her attempts to disrupt our lives diminished over time. My wife, Kim, and I focused on providing a stable and loving environment for Henry, who was growing into a thoughtful and compassionate young man. Years passed, and Henry entered high school. He excelled academically and became involved in various extracurricular activities. One day, he came home with exciting news. He had been selected to participate in a prestigious science competition. The competition required a project that addressed a real-world problem, and Henry decided to focus on the impact of false paternity claims on families. Henry's project involved extensive research, interviews, and even a survey to gather data. He reached out to Emma, who agreed to share her experiences for the project. Through their conversations, they developed a deeper understanding of each other's perspectives and formed a genuine sibling-like bond. The project was a success, earning Henry top honors in the competition. His presentation highlighted the emotional and legal challenges faced by families in similar situations and proposed solutions to improve the process of establishing paternity. His work received praise from judges and peers alike, and it even caught the attention of local media. Henry's project sparked a broader conversation about the need for legal reforms to protect individuals from false paternity claims. His efforts led to a community initiative that advocated for changes in state laws, aiming to make paternity testing more accessible and to provide better support for those affected by such claims. As Henry prepared for college, he expressed a desire to study law, inspired by his own experiences and the impact of his project. Kim and I couldn't have been prouder of the young man he had become, resilient, empathetic, and driven to make a difference. Emma, too, found her own path. She pursued a career in social work, motivated by her experiences and a desire to help others facing similar challenges. She and Henry remained close, supporting each other through life's ups and downs. Natalie eventually sought help and began to work through her issues. She reached out to apologize for the pain she had caused and expressed a desire to make amends. While it took time, we all worked towards a place of forgiveness and understanding. In the end, our story became one of resilience, growth, and the power of truth. We learned that family is not just about blood relations, but about the bonds we build through honesty, support, and love. And as we moved forward, we carried these lessons with us, ready to face whatever challenges life might bring.